Hello, welcome to my house and welcome to my channel. I'm Laura Cepeda and today I'm going to show you a project that I know that you have been waiting for. I know that you have sent me this idea and I was resisting to make this project because I have watched that a lot of YouTubers, a lot of creators and a lot of friends have made this project and I didn't want to make it, but well, I decided to make it, but I decided to make it a little bit different. I used needles and I used the hook too to make some details on it. I will show you in the video. I will show you what I'm talking about, and also I'm going to show you a different stitch that I haven't taught you in my videos before. Okay, I love this stitch. Also I try to combine different colors, different combinations, so we can have a more special scarf and it will look more beautiful, and I'm sure that it will be so different from all the videos that we have watched in other channels too. So let's try to make it different, let's try to innovate. Remember that it is also an idea and you can create your own combinations and your own pattern and your own scarf. Okay, but well, let's do lose more time. I will give you the material list and then the step by step to start right away. Well, for this beautiful scarf we are going to use 300 grams of this medium weight yarn. Okay, we are going to use 3 different combinations and 100 grams in this plain color. Remember that all of these are different and you will choose the color that you want and one color in plain color. Okay, for this we are going to use our needles of number 6. Here I will leave all the information if you want to buy the same materials that I'm using in this video. Remember that if you want to buy and use the same materials that I use in all my videos, you can visit my online store www.lauracepeda.es. Well, with one thread of the color that you choose to start, we are going to start casting on the stitches. I know that there are a lot of different ways of how you can cast on. Remember to leave this thread here, and the plain color we are going to use it at the end. Okay, so please choose the combination of yarn that you want to start and we are going to start casting on. This is the way that I know I like this way, because with this you are not going to waste any material. Well, like this we are going to cast on 47 stitches. At the end we should count them and we must have 47 stitches. We made a multiple of 5 and 2 more for the beginning and at the end. Well, we are going to start with the first row. We are going to knit it, okay? We are going to knit the first stitch and then we will continue with the rest. I know that there are different ways. Also you can use and take the stitch like this, but I don't know how to make that. I know how to knit like this, okay? And this will be the first row. We are going to make like this 5 rows more and see you there. Well, before I continue with the rest of the rows, I'm going to show you how we are going to continue. This is a tip and a secret that I share with all of you. We are going to pass the first stitch without knit. Okay, this is for we can have a nice touch. We will have a straight scarf. You will see the difference while we make the rest of the rows. You will see it. So we will pass the first stitch and then we will continue knitting the rest, and at the beginning of the row we are going to pass the first stitch. Well, like this is how we are going to continue until we have 5 rows. Well, look, here we finished the 5 rows that I told you, and we will have something like this. Now we are going to continue with the second part of the stitch. We are going to pass the first one and then we will continue knitting. We will knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, knit 4, and knit 5. Now pay attention, we are going to insert the needle and we are going to pull over the needle twice. We are going to bring them through. Here we have 1. We are going to make 1 more wool over the needle twice, and now here in the third we are going to pull over the needle 3 times, bring them through, and then we are going to make 2 more, pulling over the needle twice. Here we have 1 and then the second one. So we made 5, 2 taking twice the threads, 1 taking 3 times the thread, and then 2 more taking 2 times the thread. Then we are going to continue knitting. We have 3, 4, 5, and after we knit 5, we are going to repeat again. Insert your hook, pull over the needle twice, bring them through, insert your needle, bring over the needle twice again. So here in the third, we are going to pull over the needle 3 times, then we are going to bring them twice and 1 more. Then we are going to knit 5, 1, 2, so here I'm having a little bit trouble. I'm going to fix it, okay? Sometimes this may happen. So I need 2, 3, 4, and 5, and we will repeat. So I will do it again. After we knit 5, we are going to continue with the next 5. We are going to insert, we are going to turn over twice. Again, turn over twice too. Then here we are going to turn over 3 times. We pass them through, and then 2 more. We are going to turn over twice. So here we have 5, and then we will continue. Like this, we will repeat this series, okay? So at the end of this row, we are going to knit them, all of them, okay? So here we are going to pass the first one, and then we will continue knitting the next 5. And where we yarn over, here we are going to insert our needle. Here you can see we have this space, so we are going to insert the needle there, and we are going to knit. Look, I will do it slowly so you can see that here inside this space is where we are going to insert, and we will take the stitch and we are going to knit it. So we will continue knitting like this for the rest of the row, okay? And like this, we are going to come from here, and at the end we must have 5 rows like this one. We are going to just knit, okay? So this is the first row, and again here I will show you that here in between this space, when we arrive to this part where we yarn over, here is where we are going to insert the needle and we are going to knit. Okay, so in the next row we are going to knit all of them without yarning over. Also in the third, in the fourth, and in the fifth row we are going to continue knitting. Then we are going to repeat this again. So remember, we are going to make 5 rows. I count, when I say rows, I refer to go. We have 1, then come back 2, go 3, come back 4, go 5. So we must have 5 rows, and see you there to teach you how we are going to repeat the series, the sequence. We also, at the end, we must have something like this. Remember that I just finished to make 5 rows, and now we are going to repeat this row where we yarn over, okay? So we are going to repeat it right here. But here we are going to make the opposite. Where we leave spaces is where we are going to yarn over, and where we yarn over is where we are going to knit now, okay? So let me show you. We are going to pass the first stitch, then we are going to insert our needle, we are going to yarn over twice, yarn over 2, twice 2. So here in the third we are going to yarn over 3 times. Then the next 2 we are going to yarn over twice, 1 and 2. Then we are going to knit, remember, the next 5, knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, knit 4, and knit 5. And so we will repeat where we yarn over in the next 5 stitches. So we will yarn over twice in the first, yarn over twice in the second, yarn 3 times in the third, then I made a mistake because here I didn't yarn over 3 times. So insert the needle and yarn over 1, 2, 3 in the third stitch, yarn over twice in the fourth, yarn over twice in the fifth, then knit 5. And this is how the sequence will go, okay? So we are going to repeat. Remember, we are going to knit 5, then we are going to make, I call this eye because it has the shape of an eye, right? So we are going to continue repeating this sequence and repeating this series. Remember, we are going to make, after this row, we are going to make 5 rows more, just knitting, and we will continue until we knit a lash of 1 meter or 1.5 meters, according what do you want. If you want it longer or shorter, well, you are going to make as many rows as you need. Remember that you just have to follow the sequence and that you just have to make the opposite of what you made in the last sequence, okay? You have to intercalate where you put and where you place the eyes. So we are going to continue and see you when I finish to make the rows that I need for the long of the scarf that I want. And well, before I continue, an important part. Well, here we have 1 series, 2, 3, and in the 5th series, here I'm about to start, we are going to change color, okay? So here I put a marker, so this indicates where I finish the series, the 5th series. So now I'm going to change color and I'm going to use the different combination of yarn that I have. So after we complete the 5th series is where we are going to change color, okay? So we are going to change color and make our own combination according to the colors that we have. So look, and of course I continue making and repeating the series, and every 5, after I finish the 5th series, I change color, okay? So I have something like this. I love the combination. Look at the colors. I love all of them. And well, I also already measured this sash, and in my case it measured 160 centimeters. Okay, so I'm going to stop here because for now this long it's enough. So now I'm going to show you how we are going to continue. Well, I suggest that to finish, we are going to finish to make the 5 rows where we need. And so now we are ready to bind off. Well, this is how we are going to bind off. We are going to take 2 stitches together and knit them and bring 1 back. Take 2, knit them, bring 1 back, knit 2 and bring 1 back, and like this. Remember that we have to make them loose. It's important that we finish like we start. So let's continue and see you when I finish to bind off. Well, at the end, when you have just 1 stitch left, we are going to bring the last thread through, okay? And now with your embroidery needle, if you have one, or if you have your hook, well, you can use your hook too, but it is easier to me to hide all of these loosened threads with our embroidery needle. And with this, we are just going to make sure that this will be very secure, okay? And now that we have this, we are going to cut the rest. So now I'm going to show you how we are going to make the pockets, okay? I use the plain color that I show you. I look for a combination that goes very well with all the colors that I put, and I put these popcorns here. I know that this stitch is so trendy right now, so I just wanted to add with this yarn. And I'm going to continue using the same number of needles, and I'm going to cast on 23 stitches, and I'm going to make one row. I'm going to knit it and see you there. So for these pockets also we are going to need a hook of number 3.5 to make the popcorns, okay? So for now I'm going to show you how we are going to cast on. Remember that this is the way that I know, and we are going to cast on 23 stitches. So I'm going to repeat how I do it in case you want to see it again, okay? So like this is how I'm going to cast on 23 stitches, and then I'm going to knit one row and see you there. So before I continue it, it's important for you. You may think that this is just few stitches, but once you knit them you will see that it will get wider, okay? So if we measure it, it will measure 20 centimeters. So before you cast on and think that you don't have enough stitches, well, it's important that you know that once you knit them, these become wider, okay? And we are going to knit one row, and then we are going to come back making the 4th stitch, then we are going to knit, and like this. So for now we are just going to knit one row, and I'm going to show you in the next row how we are going to make the popcorn stitch. So let's finish this row first. And well, the second row will be like this. We are going to pour all the stitches. Remember that to pour we must have the thread over, and when we knit we have the thread behind. So like this is how we are going to pour. Remember that this is the basic stitch. Knit and pour are the basic stitches to learn how to knit. But well, let's continue and see when I finish this row. Well, at the end of the pour row we are going to pass the first, and then we are going to knit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then here we are going to take our hook. We are going to insert the hook taking the next stitch like this, and in the other side of our needles we are going to go up with 3 chains. 1, 2, 3 chains. Wrap your yarn, and we are going to insert our hook where we started, and we are going to make a double crochet, and we are going to leave the last stitch in hole. So here we have 2 double crochets. We are going to make 3, and we are going to make 1 more, and now we are going to bring all the stitches that we leave in hole. We must have 4, and as you can see we are creating the popcorn. So once we have these 4 loops together, we are going to bring them through, and we are going to close making 1 chain very tight. And so we will put this stitch back again, and we are going to put our finger like this to pop the popcorn more. So now we are going to knit 6 again, and then after we knit 6 we are going to repeat the popcorn again. I know that you can make this with the needles too, but I think and I found it a little bit more difficult, so I think it's more easier if we made it with our hook. So we are going to repeat the same. We are going to go up with 3 chains, and then here right where we start we are going to make 3 more double crochets. Remember that at the end we must have 4 loops in hole. So once we have them we are going to bring them through, and this is how we are going to create the popcorn. So here we are missing 1 double crochet more. So now look, here we have 4 loops. We are going to bring them through, and we are going to make a chain, and now this stitch that we have we are going to cast on again. And for now we are going to continue knitting the rest of the stitches. Then we are going to make 1 row of purl stitch. I will show you how. Okay, for now let's finish, and then, well, once we finish, we are going to turn around and we are going to make one row of 4 stitch. So this will be the first row after the popcorns. So after the popcorns, we are going to make 5 rows. This will be the first one. We are going to make one row of pour, then we are going to come back knitting, then the third row we are going to pour, the next row we are going to knit, and then we will finish the fifth row making pour stitch. So once we finish the 5 rows knitting and making the pour stitch, well, we are going to make the popcorn row again, but now this time we are going to make the opposite. Where I put the popcorns, well, we are going to knit, and where we knit, we are going to put the popcorns. Okay, so like this is how we are going to intercalate the popcorns, so it will look more pretty, right? So for now I'm going to show you how it looks, and remember that I already get ahead and you will have something like this. Okay, so right now we are here, we are going to make them 5 rows, we are going to pour and knit, remember. Then we are going to make the popcorn stitch, and as you can see here we have 3 popcorns we intercalate, and then we are going to have 2, 3, and then 2 popcorns, and then we will finish knitting the last rows. So for now I'm going to finish this row and the next 5. So I want that everything is clear, so I want to stop here. If you lost the number of rows, you will count them like this. So here we have 5. So now I'm going to repeat the rows where we made the popcorns. So we are going to intercalate them, okay? We are going to make the opposite. So here we must make a popcorn. So what we are going to do is that we are going to pass the first stitch, we are going to knit 1, knit 2, knit 3, and then we are going to take our hook and insert the hook in the next stitch. So here we are going to make 3 chains. We will go up, and then when we started is where we are going to make the double crochet. Remember that we are going to leave the last loop in hold. So here we have 2, we are making the 3rd double crochet and then the 4th double crochet. Once we have the 4 loops in hold, we are going to bring them through, we are going to make 1 tight chain, we are going to pull, and now this stitch we are going to cast on again. So we are going to knit 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then here we are going to insert our hook, and we are going to make the popcorn right in the middle of the last 2 that we made. So we just have to see, and we are going to place them. Okay, remember that it is okay if it's not perfect and it's not right in the middle. This is your own project, it's up to you, you can make it like you want. So this is the way that I'm making this, and well, if you want you can make it like me. And remember that after the popcorn stitch we are going to make 5 rows. It is called jersey stitch, where you make 1 row knitting and then you come back making pour stitch. So we are going to make 5 rows like this. Remember, we knit 1, then we pour the second one until we have 5. So we are going to continue like this, repeating this sequence until we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of popcorn, and then we will finish making rows where we are just going to knit. We are going to make 4 rows knitting, okay? So see you when I finished. Well, we have something like this. I finished the rows of popcorn stitch. So now I'm going to finish to make this part where we are just going to knit, okay? So I'm going to make 4 rows just knitting, and we'll see you when I finish to make these 4 rows that we have left. Well, at the end of the 4 rows we are going to bind off all the stitches, Remember, I already showed you how we are going to take two and bring one back, take two and bring one back, and like this until we finish with all the stitches. Now that we are going to finish, I'm going to show you how we are going to sew them in the lash that we made, and then we will finish. Well, look, I already finished doing that, and I'm going to place the pocket right in the middle of the scarf, and I'm going to put markers, okay? Because I want that this pocket don't move while I'm sewing, okay? So we have to put this stitch facing to the top, okay? So now I'm going to sew all of this all around here, and I'm going to repeat this in the other side, okay? Well, so once you finish to sew your pockets in both sizes, we are going to cut these threads to make the pom-poms. I'm going to use this A4 folder as a reference to make the pom-poms, and we are going to divide. We are going to take uh, 4 threads, we are going to take them in half, and we are going to place them here. So we are going to take 4 threads and we are going to fold them in half. We will have something like this. And now with our hook, we are going to insert it right here, and we are going to bring them through. And then we are just going to pull them like this. So this is how we are going to put all the pom-poms in the edge of our scarf. And please try to put them all in the same side, okay? And well, as I told you, I took this folder as reference, so I just put all these threads around and I just cut. So please try to put all of them in the same side, in the right side. So now let's see how it looks. Well, so what are they? I hope that you have liked to make this project with me. I know that you have been asking for this project for a long time, so finally I made it. I have seen a lot of videos out there of so many colleagues that have made this scarf, but using the hook. I wanted to make it different, so I decided to use the needles and use the hook just to make this popcorn. It's a different technique, and I remember that I always try to make it as easy as possible. To me, this is the easiest way to make this. So I hope that you have liked. Remember that this project and this garment will not need for any iron. We are just going to leave it like this, and if you want you can make it longer too, or shorter. It's up to you. I hope that you make this idea. Remember, if you make it, take a picture and tag me. I love to share and I love to see all your projects. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for comment, and don't forget to subscribe, okay?